The concerns about another Holocaust are real in Israel today. 46% of Israelis believe a Holocaust could happen again, according to a survey by the Foundation for the Benefit of Holocaust Victims. Nearly half of the survivors also think the Holocaust will be forgotten in the future. That survey coincides with Holocaust Remembrance Week, 70 years after the Allies opened the Nazi death camps and discovered 6 million Jewish dead. Fewer than 200,000 survivors are alive today. But as John Wagi explains, Israelis are working hard to keep their memory alive.
It's difficult to grasp the horror and destruction of the Nazi killing machine. 1/3 of the world's Jews were murdered. The pain and scars endure to the next generations. David Hershkovitz would hear his mother screaming in her sleep as she relived the agony. A German soldier separated her from her own mother, who died at Auschwitz.
She didn't speak about the gas chambers because she wasn't there. She didn't speak about the fact that they were burning bodies. She wasn't there. But during the separation, she was there, and the separation didn't leave her.
Hershkovitz's mother died 2 years ago, but through a second-generation study course in Central Israel, he's keeping her story alive. The Shem Olam Holocaust Institute is educating people like Hershkovitz to tell their stories when the Holocaust survivors are gone. The Institute's director, Avram Krieger, says many children didn't ask tough questions of their parents.
How did the parents deal with guilt questions during those moments? How did they go through the difficult moments of separation, of leaving, of difficult decisions? They weren't able to ask this, and apparently the parents weren't able to answer.
Meanwhile, in Jerusalem, the Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum tells more stories in an exhibition called Children in the Holocaust, Stars Without a Heaven, with dolls and sketches. Ina Renat Rahavi's teddy bear is on display. She carried the bear during a remarkable escape with her mother from the train car leading them to Auschwitz.
Teddy lasted better than I did, and many others. He is more war-wounded than I am since he is missing an ear and an arm, but he was a real hero.
John Wagi, CBN News.
Another Holocaust survivor, Rita Kazamal Brown, told us her story of survival and miracles.
This painting is a recent one. I named it The Wounded Survivor.
Rita Kazamal Brown was 7 years old when the Nazis invaded her hometown of Termot in Poland. In 1941, Nazis rounded up the Jews there and put them in a ghetto. Rita is now a recognized Holocaust artist who has worked as an art therapist. Her survival experience is the theme of many of her paintings.
I'm the wounded survivor. I always painted myself in white. I think it has to do with not so white nightgown that I survived the whole Holocaust in.
At 80, Rita is bubbly and vibrant. If not for her artwork and her story, you might never know her painful past. Yet she carries her memories with her every day.
I'm not sure if it's totally that you cannot heal the wound. It's something that still works in your memory, and it affects your daily life.
Her story is told in the book Portrait of a Holocaust Child, Memories and Reflections. Rita told CBN News how she and her family escaped the ghetto and survived in what they called the grub.
And my father went away for a few days, and what he did, he found another Christian family in a little town called Malaki. And there he dug a big pit under the stable, and it had a connection to the potato bin and a ledge you can open to the farmer's home. My father and my mother and the two little kids were with them, and only my little brother could stand up. And I was lying in the passageway from the pit to the potato bin. This is how we lived 20 months. We were hungry and fearful, and it was just a living hell. We called it, it was a living grave.
Being awake was a nightmare, she said, hour by hour, suffering day and night. Most of her father's 12 siblings died, where her little family of 5 stayed alive.
Being creative helped me survive, but not only survive, but keep my sanity.
In 2006, Rita revisited Poland for the first time to join the March of the Living. While there at Auschwitz, a spider bite took special significance.
And there is this black spider that bit me, and it looks a little bit like a swastika. Yeah. And it's also soaked with blood.
A mother of 2 and grandmother of 3, she's seen many miracles in her life.
We have kind of a survival instinct, which was very strong, but now it's weakening because when you get older, your defenses go down. And so the only thing that we have is because of our children and grandchildren. That's our victory.